black people, allies, and nosy people. Today, we're going to be talking about Bronx native Berkeley's Morenis Azara, aka Cardi B. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Cardi B's ethnicities, nationality, and race. I'm also going to be talking about why some people think she is black, my problem with her identifying as Afro-Latina, and more things related to this topic in today's video. Enjoy. Cardi B's ethnicities are Trinidadian and Dominican. Cardi B's nationality, she is American. She was born in Washington Heights and she was raised in the Bronx. Cardi B's race. The controversial part of this video. Cardi B, she is multiracial. Yes, she is. Cardi B, she is not black, she is not biracial / mixed with black. She's multiracial. And the reason why is because her father, as you guys could clearly see in the pictures right here, her mom, from her father's side, Cardi B, she has indigenous and white ancestry, mostly from her father's side. And whereas her mother's side, you could clearly see that Cardi B's mom is mixed. Yes, Cardi B's mom is Trinidadian, but people be forgetting Trinidad, there's mixtures of people. Not everybody is black. People think just because Cardi B's mom is from Trinidad, she's automatically black, and that's not the case. Just because somebody's from Trinidad doesn't mean they're black. It's clear Cardi B's mom is mixed. Cardi B even addressed it on Twitter back in 2016. Yes, you guys have seen the screenshot. She said it that her mom is mixed of Trinidad and Spaniard, and we all know Spaniard equals white, which means Cardi B's grandfather most definitely was white from her mother's side, and we all know her father's side. It's clear that they white, indigenous. It's obvious. And once again, I'm going to be showing pictures of Cardi B's family. The only person I couldn't really find a picture of is her grandfather from her mother's side. In conclusion, Cardi B's multiracial. Why do some people think Cardi B is black or biracial? For starters, people think Cardi B is black or biracial because of her hair texture, her features. People think just because Cardi B has a few black family members or mixed race family members from her mother's side of the family, they think automatically, oh, she's black, oh, she's biracial. And that is not how this works. You are what your parents are, and you are what your grandparents are as well. And it's clear that Cardi B is not black nor biracial. She's multiracial, and that's fine. I don't see what's so hard about Cardi B identifying as multiracial. It's usually non-black people trying to intervene on issues like this. Of course, there's a few black people and or biracial people who try to defend Cardi B as well, but for the most part, it's usually non-black people that are fans of Cardi B's defending her, excusing her, saying that she's black, she's biracial, blah blah blah, she's mixed with black, all those excuses, knowing that it bites us up in the ass when people like Cardi B try to identify as black, knowing that they're not black only, they're a bunch of mixtures.
Traditions, and I feel like people need to really understand, because people just don't be understanding shit.
It's like, oh, Cardi's Latin, she's not black. And it's just like, bro, my features don't come from fucking white people fucking, okay? And they always want to raise bait when it comes to me. That's why I have Afro features.
It's like, oh, but your parents are light skinned. Your parents are
all right, but my grandparents aren't. Well, matter of fact, both my grandfathers, they both got green eyes. And my grandmothers, one of them, she's really like fair color. She's a little darker than me. And the other one from my mom's side, she's really, really dark. Because people from the Caribbean islands, it's a mixture.
You know what I'm saying? It's like the first places where
the slaves were taken to, especially the Dominican Republic. It was one of the first places.
And do not get me started with Cardi B over tanning. Like, it's obvious, no one can even front. Cardi B has overly tanned for the past few years. I've been noticing it. My problem with Cardi B identify as Afro-Latina. Imagine someone who has more than 2 races identify as Afro-Latina, or Latino, or Latina, or Latinx. How would you feel? I mean, there's some Afro-Latinos who do not care. That's them. But I do. And there's other Afro-Latinos who do care too. And there's black people in general, all black people from the diaspora who do care. It's messed up that Cardi B's identify as Afro-Latina. Afro-Latinos are one of the most marginalized groups in Latin America, alongside indigenous people. And what's more crazy is that Cardi B, she's multiracial. She has white, indigenous, and black ancestry. And she's here identifying as Afro-Latina. It doesn't make sense because she's multiracial. She has a lot of cultures. She's within 3 cultures that she could easily try to fix issues even with indigenous people. Because at the end of the day, Cardi B also has indigenous heritage. Once again, like I said previously, Afro-Latinos are one of the most marginalized groups in Latin America, and even in America. I forgot to mention that, because even though I live in America, that doesn't mean that my family, my friends, and I, who are Afro-Latinos, do not experience race issues, colorism. We experience it here too. And you guys already know there's people who look just like Cardi B, aka multiracial people, who try to dip into Afro-Latinos just because it's a trend. And I cannot stand when people that are non-black doing that. There are even people calling people like Jennifer Lopez, Fat Joe, Anthony Ramos, Day, CJ, Bruno Mars, and more non-black Latinos Afro-Latinos. Like, what the hell? How are you going to call people who clearly you could tell they're not Afro-Latinos? And then when you see their family members, especially their parents and grandparents, you could tell they are not Afro-Latinos. That's a problem. And Cardi B is one of those problems because she's identifying in a culture she don't belong in. And I already know it has to do with her saying the N-word. I know that's the main reason why she wants to identify as Afro-Latina, aka black. That is why. Because she wants the N-word to pass. Which, by the way, we're going to go on to the next topic. Cardi B's N-word usage. I'm going to tell you right here, right now. I do not like Cardi B using the N-word. Do not get me wrong. I'm gonna make this very honest right here, right now. Before I cut off Cardi B's music from my phone, I'm going to admit it. I really thought Cardi B was Afro-Latina, blah, 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 until I did more research. I searched up her parents, her grandparents, and I even watched a few other videos, and that was when I had a reality check. I was like, Cardi B is not Afro-Latina, and I'm here being comfortable with her saying the N-word. Mind you, that the history of the N-word is very, very dark, and I myself, I don't like when non-black people say the N-word. And Cardi B is one of them. She's not supposed to say the N-word. She's not black, no biracial slash mixed with black. She's multiracial, aka she's more than 2 races, which means Cardi B, she's already out of the black slash biracial slash mixed with black experiences. She's multiracial. She's in a different experience, and she's not supposed to say the N-word. What also bothers me about Cardi B is that especially when she uses the N-word, is I've noticed that, for example, with Invasion of Privacy, she overly used the N-word in that album. And it shows how much she lacks creativity, because there's so many phrases she could use to describe her friends, her man or mans. That we all know people usually make that excuse, oh, it's a term of endearment for my friends, my family, my spouse. No, it's not. It's for black, biracial, / mixed with black people. And if you don't fit in that category, you gotta stop saying the N-word. You look stupid saying the N-word. And do not get me started on different phrases that people use in Latin America to describe black people from Latin America, and even black people in general in the diaspora. Do not get me started on that. We're not ready for that conversation. Cardi B is not creative when it comes to different phrases instead of using the N-word, and that's why I'm here to give her a challenge. I'm giving Cardi B a challenge to change her style, her rhyming schemes, whatever, and instead of using the N-word, she could use a different phrase to describe her friends, her family, etc., her spouse, whatever, because it's getting corny. It's getting very corny hearing her say nigga, 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 can't you see? Sometimes it was just him, but times me. It's getting corny. That's it. I want to touch on this subject quick before we move on to concluding statements in this video. So Cardi B, she wants to make a hair product for Afro-Latina hair. You see how that's a problem? Because Cardi B's not Afro-Latina. And she's taking, once again, from a marginalized group from Latin America and capitalizing on it by putting the name Afro-Latinas as the forefront of her product. I'm not sure how she's going to identify, but I did read articles where she stated that she's going to make sure it represents Afro-Latinas hair. First and foremost, anyone could have the hair that Cardi B has, from that who happen to have a similar textured hair. That's one. People who have similar textured hair like Cardi B's from other races could easily identify with the experience with the hair, blah, blah, blah. Since she's multiracial, she could easily make a product where she could identify with all of her cultures. I do not like the fact that Cardi B is trying to use the Afro-Latina term. It's very distasteful. It's very disappointing. Concluding statements. Okay, I'm going to be honest again because I'm pretty sure you guys will probably be like, oh, he's a hater, da-da-da-da-da, especially if you're a fan of Cardi B's. I'm telling you right here, right now, if you still want to support Cardi B, follow her on social media, hear her music, blah, 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 do you? If you've seen this video before, you already know I used to be a fan of Cardi B's. It's not a secret. I used to be a big fan of hers. As a matter of fact, I used to hear Invasion of Privacy. Like, I heard that album like about 20 times, and then that's when I had a reality check in 2020. I stopped hearing that album. I stopped hearing her music overall. I only hear 2 of her features that I still have on my phone. I also have my unpopular opinions on Bruno Mars as well, but we're not going to get into Bruno Mars in this video. I really liked Finesse as well, and Please Me. I don't have those songs on my phone right now because, like I said, I have an issue with Bruno Mars too. Also, we gotta remember, it's not only about Afro-Latinos, Latinas, Latinx. We all know it's not only about them. It's the black diaspora. Everyone who is black or biracial / mixed with black. It's all of us. And for me to be supporting Cardi B and the N-word usage is me being a part of the problem. It's not only that, I also have issues with Cardi B overall as a person, but that's another discussion for another day because that's not about this video. That is not about this video. As a black man, I have to be like, you know what? I gotta practice what I preach because I'm always talking about that we gotta stop allowing this person from saying the N-word. We gotta stop allowing that person from saying the N-word. But I'm here supporting non-black artists saying the N-word in their songs. And also, I could live without Cardi B's music on my phone. It's the truth. I'm just being honest. which is another factor on why I haven't supported her recent features with Lizzo and Normani. I haven't supported those songs because of Cardi B being featured on them. Thank you so much if you made it this far. I appreciate you guys. Tell me what do you think about this video in the comments. And if you're a fan of Cardi B still or whatever, fine, good for you, but make sure that you call out your favorite artist when it comes to her identifying as a brag, because that's a problem. She's not supposed to, and her N-word uses too. Anyways, thank you, and